It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
A fine Saturday morning to y'all. I threw in the y'all because I was trying to at least keep some of my Southwest.
Wait, what? There's no y'all in the Southwest.
I'm picturing cowboys. Hey, y'all.
I guess maybe.
You're right. It's the South, but yeah.
Of course, as I learned last night, Andy doesn't know his East from West at all. No, because I said, oh yeah, tomorrow, my daughter's got to go to a dance competition in Higley, which is like far East Valley. And Andy's like, oh, yeah, that's right near me. And I'm thinking, no, you're West. That's East. He doesn't know his directions. So I understand why he would think Savannah, Georgia is the Southwest. Y'all.
It is. Very much, yeah. Again, it's the Southwest when you're over in Africa.
Compared to where JJ's going. Yes, it is the Southwest.
I missed so much.
Good times.
I was Happy Death Day to you. You guys,
did.
I understand that there was a division in the ranks. Derision in the ranks.
Not division. It was just me against three. That's all.
It's not division. It was a pile-on.
Yes, it was.
Oh, I'm sorry you didn't.
They're like, why are you grumpy? Why can't you just have fun?
You've got The Equalizer. Yeah. You go watch that again.
And Monuments Men.
Oh, yeah. Take that one, please.
Lest we forget. Well, I missed the show, but I have to throw in my vote. I quite enjoyed Happy Death Day to You. I thought it was terrific.
Thank you.
And you're entitled to that opinion. You can go sit and enjoy it. Just wait till we get to the ranking between that and First Man. You can go enjoy that.
Oh no. Oh, you guys. Okay. Well, I really can't wait to edit that show.
Pete's going to creatively edit the Flick Chart ranking. Yes,
right. I'm actually just going to switch all the votes from 2001. It's just going to be. You'll name the movie, and then I'll just do the rock paper scissors. 2001. I'm going to keep that as a canned element.
I would say you've got a whole library of rock paper scissors that you can just start. Drop it in whichever outcome you want.
I do. Yes. At this point, I really should manipulate this. I was going to say manipulate it more, but I haven't even started manipulating it. That begins today. It's just rock, paper, scissors at Pete's discretion.
Funny.
Well, so what's up? What do we have on the list today? Can I ask the question? What is going on with the Oscars telecast?
Oh my goodness!
They keep changing things again, right? Because they said, "No, we're not going to air. We're going to do these off air," and now they're taking that back.
Yes,
is what I heard.
Yeah,
yes,
so much hubbub arose from it that not just from viewers, but also from filmmakers like Guillermo del Toro and Alfonso Cuarón. And the American Society of Cinematographers saying, we must protest. I really feel actually bad for the folks at the Academy because they are stuck in this weird position where they feel like they're playing this game of we have to shorten this show, even though I don't think the length is the issue. I just think it's an issue that viewership for awards shows is diminishing, and I think that they are trying to find a way to keep afloat, and I just don't know if it's going to work, whatever they do.
Oh man, you went dark. I thought I actually didn't think about it deeply enough, but and thought, well, maybe it is just a thing of length. Maybe they're just concerned about that. But I think you have a really good point. Maybe it's not the length at all. Maybe they're just boring.
It's because I mean, everybody complains about different things. I hate listening to the speeches. They're so boring. I hate all the skits. They're so boring. I hate all the musical numbers. They're so boring. And they keep trying to cut those, and people are like, no, that's what we want to watch. And it's problematic because I mean, if you cut all those things, then what do you have? It's just like a statistics show. It's
and you have the next day recap, which is if that's what you want, then just wait till tomorrow and get the list. That's what I did with the Grammys because there's like 8 million categories in the Grammys, and I never watch it because I don't know what they're going to air. And I was scrolling through the list, and I thought, oh my gosh, there's like 50 more categories than I thought there were already. And they don't do all of those, and people don't care or complain about that. So I don't. And there's far fewer categories here, but to say, oh, this one category, cinematography, which is unique to this medium, yes, I think that's sort of an important thing to have.
I think what they were trying to do is show, because some people retorted, why don't you just do that with all the shorts? But I think they purposefully chose not to do that, because it's like, if we do that, then obviously we're saying those are less important than the other things. So they had to try to find a way to say, okay, we've got to play a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so it doesn't look like we're showing favorites. And inevitably, whichever categories they picked would have people would have complained about.
Well, and the plan, to be clear, was that they would pick 4 categories this year, and those would be exempt from being broadcast during the commercial break the following year.
It was a rotation.
So, it was a rotation, and
they weren't actually even cutting them all the way. They were
just the speeches, right?
Yeah, well, they were just going to have they were going to cut out the walking and all that, so they would come back to the speech, and if the speech went long, they would possibly cut it.
Right.
So it wasn't like it wasn't going to be present at all. It was just in a more condensed version.
And John Bailey, president of the Academy right now, he's a cinematographer. Talk about the guy taking the first shot. I actually don't think this was a terrible plan. And I think, if they're trying to please too many masters, that is a bigger problem. But this solves a problem that apparently many people didn't think was the problem to be solved. And so it's not going to be a problem anymore. And now they're back to solving the same old problems.
Yeah.
This is very confusing.
Yeah, it's just they're in a tough spot, and they will perpetually be trying to solve this issue that it's not going to get solved, because it really just
I kind of feel like
awards.
Whenever John Bailey wakes up in the morning, all he hears is, "It's your birthday, it's your birthday, it's your birthday," every morning right now.
Sad news, Bruno Gantz died.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, he passed away. He was fantastic in some of Wim Wenders' films, like Wings of Desire and the follow-up, Far Away So Close. Plus, he did a really wonderful, I guess you could say, portrayal of Hitler in Downfall. Really spectacular actor, and it's sad to see him pass away.
It is sad.
Yeah.
I don't have a good segue for this. It was going to be something about relationships passing away, and that totally minimizes either Bruno Gantz or Marvel and Netflix. Can we? I wanted to talk about the new best, I guess, shipping experience we have between studios. That now that MarFlix is on the rocks and we have Mulu.
With
you want to talk about
the offenders?
What?
Yeah, the offenders.
I'm really curious to see. Yeah, the news this week, Steve, is that Marvel Television and Hulu announced 4 new animated series. They've got Marvel's MODOK, which is the giant. Pete, you love this guy, the giant floating head with a little tiny body.
Yeah.
This show is about an egomaniacal supervillain with a really big head and a really little body who struggles to maintain control of his evil organization and his demanding family. The writers on that are Jordan Blum and Patton Oswalt, which should make for a fun show. The next in the lineup is Marvel's Hit Monkey, which tells the tale of a wronged Japanese snow monkey mentored by the ghost of an American assassin as he cuts a wide swath through the Tokyo underworld in this darkly cinematic and brutally funny revenge saga. Josh Gordon and Will Speck are behind that one. You have Marvel's Tigra and Dazzler show. The 2 woke superheroes are best friends. They fight for recognition among powered people who make up the 8 million stories in Los Angeles. That's Erica Rivenoja and Chelsea Handler behind that one. And then, of course, there's Howard the Duck coming to the animated world here. He is hoping to return home with the help of his unstoppable gal pal Beverly before the evil Dr. Bong can turn him the crispiest dish on the menu. This is Kevin Smith and Dave Willis behind this one. And what they're actually doing is building all of these 4 shows to a... I can't help but think that we that we had the Defenders, and now we have Marvel's The Offenders. They will be building to that show.
You can't read that and not think that somebody at Marvel is giving the middle finger to Netflix.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's funny. I really do.
Where do you stand on these properties?
I don't
though?
know.
Like
I don't know.
The ones that I know of, I mean, obviously I know MODOK and I know Howard the Duck, but I don't really know these other two properties at all. We are definitely we're into some brave new territory with the Marvel catalog.
That is true. Oh. That is true. I mean, I'm familiar with them in a very general sense. Like I recognize Tigra, I don't know how you say it, but I recognize her and MODOK and of course Howard the Duck, but I don't know enough of any of their stories. I'm curious, largely because the people behind them, the teams, I think are interesting, and so I think they could be doing something that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm
Steve, are you bringing up Hulu now, or just to wait? Or
he's getting his subscription renewed because he can't wait for the next 5 years. I'm paying right now.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I don't. I kept up with the first couple of seasons of Daredevil. I just never. I need to get back to Netflix Marvel to finish that stuff up, but yeah, it's not my like must see TV. And then this one, animated, it's not high on my priority list. The one Marvel property that is on Hulu, the Runaways. The styling of that logo, in our house, we just jokingly call it the Subways because it is stylized like the Subway logo. And we've hit like peak Marvel where it's now like oversaturated. And I suppose the approach is there's something for everyone there, that there's not perhaps the expectation that everyone is going to look at and watch everything. So I do appreciate the diversity in their portfolio. I just don't know that that's for me.
Yeah, I really wonder what's next with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets, they got a half season that looks like it's coming back later in 2019. I'm still excited about Cloak and Dagger, but
that's coming back for season 2 soon, right?
It is coming back for season 2, and I'm a little bit nervous about it. They're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit because I sat through the entire first season and I like the character building stuff, but you show up for Cloak and Dagger, you want Cloak and Dagger, and you want them to do the thing that they do, and you get very little of them doing the thing that they do, and so I think they slow played the mystery of the origin story of these kids, and they need to get to work. Because it was a snooze in a lot of places, and I'm a fan. So Cloak and Dagger was great, or I think has a great amount of potential, and I am actually a fan of the Runaways. I had a good time with it, and am recently caught up. I weirdly the Marvel stuff. I'm in the middle of season 2 of Luke Cage right now. I haven't done the last season of Iron Fist. I'm caught up on Jessica Jones. I haven't done the most recent season of Daredevil, and I did like The Defenders. I wanted that to be more successful than it was. I like all the shows, but like you, Steve, I kind of wonder why, when I have the opportunity to watch something, I'm not watching those. Like, why did that not cement for me? I kind of feel like Luke Cage and Iron Fist are blocking Daredevil for me, which is the one I'm most excited about. I just want to make sure I have everything that I need to know before I watch that show.
And that's the challenge, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
That is the challenge. I am more likely to go and watch like Russian Doll or Lodge 49 because it's like, I know I just have to watch this. Where now it's like, okay, do I watch Jessica Jones season 2, and what do I do with Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and which ones do I need to prioritize? And then I haven't even touched the Defenders because I never finished Iron Fist and Luke Cage season 1. So yeah, it's just building continuous obstacles to me enjoying this because I don't know. I don't want to be confused as an audience member. When you integrate and cross over all of these things, I feel like, I'm getting to this point of I'm going to be missing crucial information that's going to inhibit my enjoyment of this because I'm going to be confused, or I'm going to be missing crucial information, whereas something that's standalone on its own, I know. People say they're enjoying this, great. I'll sit down, I'll knock out 8 episodes, and I don't have to be asking like, well, wait, who's this person? And, there's this relationship. I needed to watch this whole other series to really. Now, I don't want to have to guess or, get out a spreadsheet to say, okay, here's my viewing order. Let me sit down with my viewing plan, and this is how I'm going to do it. I want to sit down in front of my TV, turn on a show,
they
and
need to do what they do in the comics. Because I think that's a huge thing.
Yes.
Comics, it's such an enveloping world with all of the stuff they have going on. It's hard to stay on top of everything that they're doing. But what they do is they'll have those little blurbs. So if you're reading one particular comic line and all of a sudden it's interrupted by some random thing from a different comic line, it'll have the little asterisk and it'll give you a tiny bit of information to kind of clue you in. So you go, oh, okay, that gives me enough plot information so I have a sense as to why this is relevant here.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be great.
Yes, Netflix has my viewing history. They could say, hey, you're about to start this episode. We noticed you haven't watched season 1 of Luke Cage. You might want to watch that first before jumping into the Defenders.
They can develop something that is akin to what they did with the latest Black Mirror episode, where as you're watching something, it'll pop something up on the screen when information comes up and you can go, oh, that's what this is. And you can click on it. And it could even jump you to the relevant scene of the other show. You can watch the scene and go, oh, okay, and then you can pop back to it. They have some interesting technology that they could play with, and it could be really cool. So that way, if you really just want to focus on Daredevil, you can watch Daredevil, but you can catch those bits that happen in those other shows. I think that's, it's time for Netflix to step up. Get on it,
we
Netflix.
Just invented a whole new product line.
I did.
This is going to be fantastic.
Yes.
I do want to mention before we leave this particular topic that we didn't mention The Punisher also on Netflix, which is
that too.
I think it's a funny example though because it's sort of outside of the other 4 shows, right? It exists in its own storyline a little bit more than the other 4. I think in some regard, and I would say Jessica Jones was. They all did a good job in their first season of not anchoring to one another too much. The Defenders obviously tied them together, but I really enjoy John Bernthal as the Punisher, and I haven't dug into his second season yet, but that's one that I'm making time to do the whole thing for over a couple of days because I was super wrapped into the first season. It is not like the others. In its sort of tone and tenor, I just really like the dark, and it's super violent in a lot of places, and I really loved the risks that they sort of took with it. So I'm thrilled that it got a second season, and I hope it's able to continue. Did you guys get into the Punisher at all?
No, too much stuff. I want to. I love that character in the Daredevil, and it just there's so much there.
I'm too far behind.
And Bernthal, really, is
he was great.
Good.
Yeah.
He is so good in this role. So, it's worth it. It looks like I don't want to. This is just a little tag at the end of this Variety article. The upcoming streaming service Disney Plus is working on multiple limited series centered on the Marvel Cinematic Universe characters, including Loki, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, and Winter Soldier. So get ready for that.
Yes.
There will always be something new to watch.
Andy. Wait, Oracle. Put the eye back in your head.
This is what I'm good at, Pete. I can see these things.
Let's see. I've made no progress in watching my Best Picture nomination, so still no.
Nor have I.
Haven't knocked it. I did watch Black Klansman with my wife and daughter because they had not seen that. I had seen that in the theater, and so it was interesting to see their reactions to this. My wife, knowing it's a Spike Lee joint, she was like, he just gets too in your face with his message sometimes, but she actually really enjoyed it. And my daughter, just having a great time with that. And then we get to the end and they're both just like their faces just paled and they just were nearly both in tears at that final sort of updating, I guess, of the state of the nation. So I forgot what a gut punch that was. So so the few that I've seen a couple twice now, and a whole bunch that I still have yet to see. But it is a holiday weekend. It's a 3-day weekend for me, so I'm hoping to knock out a bunch of these this weekend as best I can.
I hope I can too, and I also hope that I can somehow sneak out to see Alita Battle Angel as well.
I've got my tickets for 11:30 this morning, going to see him with a sci-fi buddy.
Are you guys are you genuinely looking forward to it, or are you seeing it as a curiosity?
I've been waiting for this movie for 20 years.
Wow,
20
that's a long
years.
wait.
Yes, approximately 20 years, because right after Titanic, I read an article that said James Cameron has got 2 projects that he's looking at, this thing called Avatar and this Battle Angel Alita thing, and it was a matter of what the technology was going to be, because both of them were going to be a technological stretch, and so he opted to go with Avatar. So ever since Avatar went into production, I've been waiting, like, what's going to happen with this other project, because he had 2 and he chose one, and I thought, I'm really curious what the potential is in the other one. So I've been eagerly awaiting to see if he was going to do something with this. And then when he announced, Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or however long that is, I thought, oh, I'm never going to see this thing. And then when this trailer popped up and with Robert Rodriguez attached, I thought, he's a filmmaker. He always entertains me. So I'm going in, knowing that both Cameron and Rodriguez have stumbles occasionally, so I'm not expecting a masterpiece, but I'm expecting to be entertained and have a good time.
Were you entertained by Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Was that one of your...
Yes, I like Shark Boy. My kids were at the right age for that. Also, the other...
Did you hear the derision in his voice, though, Steve? I can't believe you actually answered that question. It did not deserve to be answered. Andy, you troll.
No, that and what was the other one? Shorts? The shorts? Yeah, just whatever. Yeah, no, I see. That's fine.
No, I'm thrilled for you. I'm thrilled for you.
I'm thrilled for you. It's
That's
not
fine.
getting better.
Yeah, and I'm thrilled that you love Happy Death Day too. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm a terrible person.
I am very much looking forward to it. I don't have a 20-year wait under my belt, but the first trailer I saw, I didn't even know what Battle Angel Alita was before I saw that first trailer and started looking into it. And so I'm sort of late to the Alita game, but man, it just looks fantastic, and so I'm looking forward to the ride. And I showed the kids last night, and they're super stoked. So we're in for tomorrow night.
Next week, I'll be able to give you guys an update on the Rocky Horror Picture Show Home Indoctrination Kit.
Outstanding.
We're doing that next Friday. And so next Saturday, if I'm able to rouse myself after that evening, I will give you an update as to how things went and see if it was a success or a disaster or just who knows what happens.
Do you have it? Did you actually have, like, labels or step cards or some sort of, like, what is it that it's going to look like if I'm one of the people that's coming in who's never seen Rocky Horror? What is my
they're coming.
Like?
Well, they get to just be part. Everything's going to happen to them. So we've got other people that have seen it, and so we've got scripts with
it's not just you and your wife throwing toast at your guests.
No. So we're putting so there are rules that will be shared because we're doing it in the house. So we're putting something over the carpet because there's rice, there's toast, there's squirt guns. So there will clearly be, just as when you go to see it, there's a little description and explanation of what you're about to participate in. So there will be things like, do not throw toast or squirt the squirt guns at the television.
Right.
We have toilet paper. We also have themed food items as well. So there's lots of wiener shaped foods, things like that.
Excellent.
I think you call them Frankenfurters.
For them coming in, I think we do call them Frankenfurters. Actually, I think they're I don't have the menu that my wife put together for this event, but when we do things 120%. So I think it's like wieners under the blanket or something like that. Instead of pigs in a blanket, it's like wieners under the blanket, things like that. So yeah, the two that have not experienced this, they just get to be there. Just like if you went to the theater and saw a midnight screening and a friend brought you didn't know what you're in for, you just sit there and enjoy the spectacle. So we're trying to recreate that experience in the house.
That is amazing.
I'm still hoping that we can go. I will let you know soon.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yes. So there's, we're not requiring people to dress up. We're not doing any of those things. We have on the menu meatloaf, meatballs, wieners under the covers, bourbon cocktail sausages, hot buttery popcorn, plain old cupcakes, and red velvet cupcakes. Our signature drinks, we're going to be serving the Virgin's Cherry Bourbon Sour. The event... these Virgin Sacrifice and Rules starts at 7:50, 8 o'clock the movie, and then at midnight, say hello to Oblivion.
Oh, Steve.
Yes.
You guys.
Pete, get down here next Friday. Come on down.
My
Just
Kingdom
come on
for a
down.
ticket.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
the experience, the thought of walking into your house thinking you're going to see this movie with some friends, and like the entire place is covered in Visqueen. Like that's also what happens at mob hits too, Like what?
Why is there? What is going on?
Yeah. Don't throw toast at the TV. I need you to stand over here. No, a little closer.
Yeah.
A little closer. Perfect. Well done. I can't wait for the update. Andy, I hope you go, because I feel like we're going to need neutral reportage, participant reportage from this experience.
Right.
We ready to do trailers?
Yes, let's do them.
Yes. Do we have any? We don't have any A24 or Red Band, do we? We
do not.
What is going on?
Yeah.
Like A24, they need to what they need. Come on, where's the content?
Well, we need a movie
Red
a week
Band
from A24.
Yeah, we do. And where's the Red Band trailers? I mean, come on, what's going on here in 2019?
2019 is failing us already.
They are. It's been very disappointing.
All right.
That's right.
I don't know who should go first. Mostly, I threw away my pick because Andy got the one that I like the most.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I feel like you should. Why don't you go ahead? Go ahead and hit this one off.
I am excited about
go.
this. I had not heard anything about this new film by Danny Boyle called Yesterday.
I've been waiting for it for 20 years. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
It's Danny Boyle's directing it. Richard Curtis wrote the screenplay, story by Jack Barth. This is the story of a struggling musician who the world has this strange, I'm assuming it's going to end up being unexplained event where a little, glitch in reality happens where all of a sudden the Beatles have been erased from the earth. But for whatever reason, our protagonist, Jack, he happens to be getting into an accident right at the moment this glitch happens, and he remembers the Beatles, and he starts, as a struggling musician, just kind of casually singing their songs, and people are like, wow, that's amazing. And and he's just like, oh, well, it's the Beatles. And they're like, who are the Beatles? John, Paul, George, and Ringo. And it's so clever, the whole conceit of it. And he becomes this huge star because he's performing these amazing songs. And it cracks me up. It has this kind of magic to it. You have this really interesting actor, Himesh Patel, playing Jack, who has been in no films. This will be his first feature film, but he's big on British TV. EastEnders, the TV show, just that alone, he was in 566 episodes of that show. So very busy working on that particular film or that TV show. And a bunch of other TV shows as well. So he's a very big TV actor, but here he is kind of taking the lead for this film. And he looks great. And Lily James is his love interest in this. And I think it looks very sweet, the connection between the two of them. Plus you have Kate McKinnon, and then lots of people playing themselves like James Corden and Ed Sheeran. And I love the Beatles. I thought that this was a really clever kind of take on the magic of their music and who you are as an artist, especially in a situation like this where you are becoming known for being a great writer, singer, when you are completely lying to everybody around you. It looks magical. I really can't wait for this. What do you guys think?
Well, I can't wait for this movie. What, are you kidding me? For all of those reasons, the cast is great. Anna de Armas is in it. I just James Corden, the Ed Sheeran bit on the plane is too much. Even the rapping? No, you shouldn't rap. That was great. It was a great bit. So and he has a fantastic voice.
Yeah.
To be able to pull this off, right? I mean, he sounds great, Himesh Patel. And so the thing they do with his teeth when he gets hit by that's tough to look at. Generally, oh God, this is going to hit you in the feels.
Yes. Oh, I love the concept, but then you get into this, the moral dilemma that he's facing of like, I have all this knowledge. Do I use this for my own benefit? And I'm looking forward to that journey, that sort of moral journey he's going to take, because we do have that little tease, and I know trailers can be misleading of when he's on James Corden show, he's like, oh, we've got two gents here that say that they've written these songs, and the fact that one of them's barefoot. I mean, you've got the whole Abbey Road cover thing going on there, and I'm curious to see what the reveal is there, but I just love so many great laughs in that trailer from, no, you should change it to "Hey Dude," and well, it's
He's
great,
right.
but
That's better.
it's not Coldplay, it's not Fix You, and I'm like, oh yes,
yeah, this looks fantastic. Can't come soon
No,
enough.
and it will be hitting here in the U.S. June 28th. Also, Turkey and India and the UK same date. Germany gets it earlier, June 6th, and then it looks like.
Well, that makes sense that Germany would get the Beatles first, right?
Sure.
If you know your Beatles history.
No, I don't know why that would be.
What? They played the nightclubs in Germany. That's where they got their big... You don't know your Beatles
well
history.
enough, clearly. I still think it's odd that Germany is where it's premiering. And then it goes to Hong
Pete,
Kong,
do you know what I'm talking
Argentina,
about?
and
I do know
Russia
what you're
after
talking
that.
about. All right.
Okay. Because if Andy, go watch on. You've got Hulu.
I don't have
Going
Hulu.
back to Hulu. There's that. What? Oh, there's that great Ron Howard
Yes,
documentary
that's
about
exactly
the
what I was
Beatles,
gonna
you've seen
Yeah,
it, Pete,
yeah.
right? And what blew me away was the Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, totally.
Where they've got the photo of what, like 15-year-old Sigourney Weaver at the Hollywood Bowl at
That's
the
right.
Beatles concert. Yeah.
I think if you ever have doubt about Ron Howard, and so sometimes turns saccharine, man, he turns it on in this movie. I think he loves the property, so it's a
What was
it's
that
an
called
act
again?
of love.
8 days a week.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
It was terrific.
Who's next?
Yeah. All right,
Yes.
Steve.
Well, Andy took yesterday, and so then I'm like, fine, I'm going to take his trailer. What would Andy do?
WWAD.
Right? What would he pick? Yes. What would Andy do for a trailer? And he would pick a psychological horror thriller about a lonely woman who befriends a group of teenagers and decides to let them party at her house, and then things go wrong from there. Because that's what happens when you're a teenager. You make bad choices and then, crazy things happen. This is Ma. What surprised me was to see Octavia Spencer getting into horror. But this is from director Tate Taylor, who directed her in The Help. So I don't understand what's going on in this world when I directed The Help and then this weird, creepy horror movie called Ma.
This is the movie I wanted to direct with The Help, and we just couldn't quite get it there.
Good. But we've got Missy Pyle, Luke Evans, Juliette Lewis, Octavia Spencer. I get this. So, the whole setup is we've got kids that are going out to a party and they need an adult to buy some booze, and Octavia Spencer just happens to be the one that they ask. And she's like, well, yeah, but come back to my place. And she's got a basement, and there's rules. They can do anything in the basement. They stay down there. They can't go upstairs. That's the rules. But as the trailer reveals, then this Ma, she knows their parents. So we get into this, what's going on? Is this sort of like a revenge thing of the parents did something to her when they were in school and now she's taking it out on the kids? So there's something more than just, crazy lady lures teens to her basement. There's some other dynamics going on, which I think is, as I mentioned on the film board discussion last night, horror is hitting this resurgence, and we've got good quality horror movies for teens. We're going back to like the late 80s again, of like what happens when, teens violate those norms. There's punishment and consequences, and I love sort of the idea of bringing the parents into it, of whatever poor decisions parents make, then the consequences can be passed on down to their kids. So little bit with this cast, I'm expecting something a little bit more. I was also intrigued by the fact that it is written by Scotty Landis, who is known for comedy. So I don't know if this is really just a dark comedy that they're sort of presenting as a horror film or not. So I'm very, very interested and curious what type of movie we are going to see when this hits theaters on May 31st.
Did Scotty Landis just need Get Out to be made and be successful in order to make this story? The weird sort of social horror. I looked at this and immediately saw the trailer for Greta, which is coming out, I think, around the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Greta's coming out actually just next month. And it's kind of the same vibe. What is it with this vibe where the young person it gets embroiled with an older person, and the older person is insane and murderous and terrible? That is a generation gap horror, and I think we need to fix that, or else.
Because it's portraying Gen X as a bunch of maniacs.
Yeah.
Is that what your concern is?
I have to tell you guys, like the three of us, we're about to be the old people. So I don't know what happens. It's sort of a yesterday style. We're going to get hit by a bus and suddenly we're going to leave our wallets on trains. And it's not good. We're that character now. This is like the feeling when Aubrey Plaza plays the mom. That transition is hard to accept, but it's us.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I'm looking forward to this one. I love the idea of Octavia taking on this role. It really piques my curiosity, and I saw the trailer before Happy Death Day to You, and the trailer got the audience very excited. So I am very much looking forward to this one.
That's interesting that you saw Ma. They actually played Greta again for us, and not Ma.
Oh,
yeah. So. Big story there. Wow.
Yeah.
Woo. All right. I got a trailer.
What you got, Pete?
I got a trailer.
You do. You sound really excited about this trailer.
You know what it is? This trailer. Okay, Seth Rogen. I have such I'm going to say just a relationship with Seth Rogen. I feel like he has done some movies that I laugh really, really hard at. I mean, This Is the End, I thought was terrific. I thought it was hysterical. And when he takes on roles that veer towards serious, I tend to like him even more. And so he's in this place for me that he's just sort of a mercurial performer, because I don't really relate to all of his things. I don't relate to, it was the food one, the food cartoon, that sausage party. I there were some laughs in that one and some lines that stuck with me, but generally I did not connect with that. Sorry, hang on. There's some lines in that one, but generally I didn't connect with the humor. But this movie, Long Shot, I think it's meta satisfying, because I think my enjoyment of this movie also may be a long shot. Then you add the fact that Charlize Theron is in it and plays his former teen babysitter, and now Secretary of State, and is running for the presidency of the United States.
Secretary of which state?
All of them. Some of those bits I think could be cute and funny, and he is a writer, and she hires him to write because he's outgoing and knows her, and it is a far-fetched kind of a premise for a comedy love story. But I have to tell you, I saw this trailer and I thought, okay, that's when I'll give it a shot, because I really want to like these characters in this movie. then I looked at the rest of the cast. All right, you guys, come on. Alexander Skarsgård is in it. Andy Serkis is in it. What? I love that.
Yeah.
I just love that. Randall Park, James Saito, Ravi Patel. It's got a fantastic cast. Boys to Men is in it playing themselves. I have a spark of hope that this is a movie I'm going to find charming and funny. I don't know. Am I alone completely? Am I an island?
No, it's the sort of movie that feels like it could be like a Dave type of movie or a the American President type of movie. It has kind of that vibe, and I like that. It doesn't mean it's going to be a great movie, but it has things going for it. And so to that end, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, I think I was curious to see who was directing this, because with Seth Rogen, okay, who's directing him? How much is he going to be improv in this? How much is he going to be reined in? And it's a mixed bag. This is Jonathan Levine, who our family really loved his, zombie Romeo and Juliet film Warm Bodies. The Night Before, okay, that's your, Seth Rogen, James Franco going, crazy. But then we've got early on All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, which I know did not go well. And then I remember hearing about The Whackness, the one with Ben Kingsley and drug dealing, that seemed to do well in festivals but just never found an audience. And then you've got the Joseph Gordon-Levitt and 50-50. So I don't know what the tone is going to be on this, if it's going to really embrace that comedy piece, or if the trailer's highlighting the comedy because of Seth Rogen. This is going to be a movie with a little bit more heart to it. So I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. That I'm hoping that they're pushing the Seth Rogen piece for marketing reasons to get the audience in there. And what I found sort of, I don't know if I want to say upsetting, or is the IMDb list, descriptions talks about Fred Flarsky reunites with his first crush. So it's all about him. But from the trailer, it seems that it's more her story.
I want it to be her story. I think that's
right.
Yes.
Well,
so check this out. The thing that actually I was more interested in terms of the pedigree of the film, it was written by one of the writers is Liz Hannah, who actually was co-writer on The Post.
Yes.
So, it trucks with good company. It's the fact that, I think Jonathan Levine didn't write it. Might be in its favor, right? For some of that comedy, It has a little bit more of a sensitive kind of emotional place. The other writer on this is Dan Sterling, and Dan is a longtime producer on The Office and Girls and Sarah Silverman and Daily Show. In terms of his, he wrote The Interview. He co-wrote The Interview, and that was one that, met with some controversy.
Yes.
In terms of Seth Rogen and James Franco going to North Korea. So this one is the big, kind of the next big shot to do something that actually has a statement and connects with folks. So here's hoping. Did I say when it comes out? It comes out in, when does it come out? May, I think. May 3rd in the U.S. And kind of rolls out after that. It's already dropped at South by Southwest. No, it hasn't. March 9th, 2019. What month is it? Still February. Yeah. So it's hitting South by Southwest in March. It drops here in May. So there you go.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, I guess that means it's time. Time for our lists. Rocky
Time
IV. People went with Cold War films. Not training montages.
Did that surprise you?
No, it didn't, actually. I feel like, we've thrown training montages in there often enough, but I feel like, we've probably talked about trailer montages in some other list. So,
yeah.
But, yeah. Here we are,
all right,
talking about Cold War films. Because Rocky IV arguably is about bringing the East and the West together, as we find at the end.
Bringing them together?
Trying
and then beating the crap out of them in the ring.
No, he has his speech at the end. You hated me, I hated you, but now we can all be together. It was all about ending the Cold War and coming together as one. And beating the bad guy. But still, he's got his whole speech.
Right. Yeah, there's a speech.
There's a speech. It's a speechy movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, Andy, you gotta kick it off. Your favorite Cold War.
I'm going with I think one of my favorite spy films, if not my favorite spy film. It is 1965 British Cold War film that Martin Ritt directed, based on the novel by Jean le Carré. It is The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. I feel the chill of this film, and I love the spies, and it's mostly kind of the Cold War, East and West Germany, not so much with the Russians, but still, just watching Lemus as his character kind of navigate this world of spies and double agents and triple agents, and it's just a really beautiful film, and it's done amazingly. Richard Burton is fantastic in it. That's my first pick, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold.
Nice pick.
Have you guys seen this one?
I think we could probably do a mega list of all 9 films based on Jean le Carré properties for the Cold War.
Indeed.
Probably could.
It has been a very long time since I've seen it, but I love it. It is not a steal, but it was on the list.
That's going on my list after the name of the father. Daniel Day-Lewis.
The name of the Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yes. Yes. Whatever. Because I as I looked into Cold War, I'm like, there were a lot of these that just, I'm looking at lists of things. I'm like, haven't seen it. A lot of stuff that I probably should have seen, but it was just not a genre that that has always appealed to me, I guess. I don't know why. So it was, I don't want to say it was a challenging list, but there were just some where I thought, there's a lot in here that I have not seen. So I had to dig into some things that I'd seen that you guys hadn't talked about on the show, and I'm trying to find a theme to pull everything together. And I'm like, do I go with spy movies? What defines Cold War movies? Is it the espionage? Is it the East versus West? There's a U.S. versus Russia. What's going on? So I've got a hodgepodge of things, but it's all. Well, I'm probably going to go in chronological order here, I think. And I'm going to start with one that I saw in the theater, and the twist at the end just blew my mind. And there was one that me and my friend had to debate and discuss what was really going on with this movie with these twists. This is 1987, Kevin Costner, No Way Out. We've got a cover-up, and we've got an agent, sort of a spy who's infiltrated and revealing this identity. To me, this was, it's peak late 80s Cold War. You've got Kevin Costner, Gene Hackman, Sean Young, Will Patton. I have not seen it in a long time. It's one that I hope holds up, but one that I guess I was just at that right age of tackling a complex, sort of espionage thriller like this in 1987.
I feel like that's one that I loved at the time, and I just don't remember it. But it probably is worth a rewatch, because I remember just my mind kind of my young. Let's see, that was what year? 87. So
87. Yeah.
Late junior high mind. I remember just whoa, that whole sort of thing. So yeah. I wonder if I still feel that way, but it still is one that I, in my mind, hold in high esteem.
I don't remember it. I'm sure I saw it.
We're no use to you.
I don't remember.
Well, I know you've got a Kevin Costner thing. I know that.
Yeah, it's Kevin. All I can think of is all the Kevin Costner movies, and they all look exactly the same except Waterworld, and that's only because he drinks his own pee. Does he drink his own pee in this movie?
No, he does not. No, he does not. Oh my God! All right, what have you got, sir?
All right,
just as a quick note, though, Steve, I will say No Way Out is streaming on Amazon Prime, so if you have a membership, you can watch it there.
Oh, okay. All
right. So my first pick is a film that came out January 25th, 1985, and it stars the good Timothy Hutton and Sean Penn. It is based on a story, and that story is called The Falcon and the Snowman, a true story of friendship and espionage by Robert Lindsay. That's right, Steve Zalian's script, John Schlesinger's movie, The Falcon and the Snowman. This is another one that I have a strong memory of, but mostly because there was a weird CIA plan to oust the Prime Minister of Australia. And I thought that's a weird thing to do, but it turns out it was a true story about drug addicts and falconers and and also spies. Like it's one of those movies that I can't explain why it connected with me in 1985. I have no reason to have a good memory of this movie or any memory at all, and yet for some reason Timothy Hutton, like I wanted to be Timothy Hutton, and I have a good memory of this. You guys remember Falcon and the Snowman at all?
I remember I saw it way too young, and I probably when it first came out on HBO. And I just remember being really depressed at the end and going, ugh, boy, that was heavy. And then I've never returned to it.
It is. It's so heavy. It's so grim. I have a weird thing for this movie. So Falcon and the Snowman.
Never saw it. I remember it always being on cable TV growing up, but it being something where I'm like, that's heavy, serious stuff. I was not interested in that. But I understand wanting to be Timothy Hutton, but Timothy Hutton from, what was the military school one?
Taps.
That also had Sean Penn in it. What was that one?
Taps. Yeah, Taps.
Right. Who has everybody in it.
Yeah.
I remember
Cruise,
watching that a bunch of times. Yeah, but not Falcon and the Snowman.
Yeah, right. All right. What's your next pick, Andy?
For my next pick, I'm feeling like I am staying, at least for now, I feel like I'm staying in the era of these films, because my next one is, I remember watching this film and just it blew my mind because of the brainwashing and everything that came of it. It is, of course, John Frankenheimer's 1962 film, The Manchurian Candidate, with these amazing sleeper agents that we end up getting in it. Frank Sinatra and Lawrence Harvey, Janet Leigh, and then, of course, the horrifying Angela Lansbury. I just loved this film, and I don't think the remake did enough justice to it, although it had some good performances. But this original film is it was so great, and just the way that these guys get brainwashed, and the way that it twists at the end, and what that kind of the final reveals and everything. I had such a great time with this movie, and it's right in that era of the wonderful films that John Frankenheimer was cranking out. This and 7 Days in May, Seconds, which we've talked about. The Train is another great one. Lots of great stuff. So that's my next pick, Manchurian Candidate.
Exceptional pick.
Going on my list.
Oh my
after
goodness!
The name of
Steve!
No, I swear. This
loud.
is one that. Yeah, I know. It's one of those ones where I was just like, and then it was like, I don't know, somebody told me about some twist or something to it, and I'm like, okay, I'll just wait till
you didn't watch the remake, did you? Okay.
Good. No, because I know that I need to watch the original. I know that. It's just, again, this is not a genre that's just really high. I'm actually looking at my list, and I'm like, all mine have there's some type of twist to the end, I guess. So I don't know if it's that appeals to me, but yeah, I don't, political thrillers, they just, some of them don't. They leave me cold in the Cold War. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, watch this one and let us know what you think after In the Name of the Father.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
God, your list is
and
epic.
A couple other things.
The Name of the Father has become a major blocking movie for you.
It really has.
You're going to see that, and then all the movies will fall out.
It's because I keep watching TV shows instead.
Things, right?
Yeah. Yes. All right. I'm moving up chronologically to my next one, which is a film that just, I think, if not for this film, there's a lot of things that wouldn't exist after it. And I remember I believe I saw this in the theater. I can't remember because it has been a long time and I have not seen it in a long time. But for me, it was a clever sort of storytelling device when you have characters speaking in Russian and then slowly it just transitions into there's now speaking English. So we're getting the sense that they're Russians, but now we've got English. And this is the first Jack Ryan movie, the very first Jack Ryan movie, The Hunt for Red October, Sean Connery, and our sort of one-off Jack Ryan, Alec Baldwin. I have not seen it in a long time, and I was trying to recall like who directed this, where did they go from here, and then I went down this rabbit hole of what the craziness that happened with John McTiernan after Rollerball, and that he was actually incarcerated in federal prison for almost a year in 2013 to 2014. Because I was looking, I'm like, wait, he hasn't directed anything in a while. Oh, he was in prison. Crazy stuff. But that's my second pick, good old Hunt for Red October.
I just rewatched this, not like a week ago or so, a week or two ago. Yeah, I just rewatched it. And man, does this movie hold up so well. I have such a great time watching it. So it was on my list, and I'm glad it's out there on yours.
Yeah, that's a great pick, and I have trouble. I mean, all of the Jack Ryans I think have been good, but I have trouble watching any Jack Ryan and not comparing them to the Jack Ryan in this movie. I think Alec Baldwin's was the best, and it's a disappointment that we don't have more.
Yeah, we've got. I'm trying to think. So we've got Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford,
right,
Ben Affleck,
Ben Affleck,
John Krasinski. I was trying to think if there was another. Oh, and then what's his name? Captain Kirk.
Oh, Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Right. Oh, that's
geez. I was like, I had it in my head. I'm like, I'm forgetting
Jack
somebody.
Ryan, Shadow Recruit.
Somebody.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
All right, should we do? Who's your favorite? So, who's second favorite? I guess it would have to be Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, and I haven't watched Krasinski's.
I haven't either.
It's. I watched the first few episodes. It's good. I
think Krasinski gets back to the kind of at least the look and the sort of mannerisms of the Jack Ryan that I love so much about Alec Baldwin, and the Jack Ryan that's portrayed in the book. So I don't know. I feel like that's closer to it.
Yeah.
All right. That's another TV show I'm curious about, but we should do a Jack Ryan series one of these days, Pete. There'd be some interesting movies to look at. Yeah.
Sneak them on the list, Andy. That's how you do it. Go. Sneak them on. I'll never know.
All right, Pete, what's your next one?
All right. I struggle with this one because I have a bunch of favorites that are right at the top, but you already mentioned what was in my second place. I don't know if you remember this, Andy. I heard about this movie. I'd never seen this movie. I'd never heard about it. And I thought, oh my gosh, we need to do this on our show. I think it was probably a year ago, I called you and said, do you remember 7 Days in May? Had you ever seen it? And you said, yeah, I've seen it. I love it. And I said, well, why didn't you tell me about it? It's your job is to tell me these things. And so I went and I found it, and I had never, watching it completely cold, apart from some NPR reporter who said, if you want to see a story about chaos in the White House, you should watch 7 Days in May, John Frankenheimer's film. And man, nailed it with that description. John Frankenheimer, Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas, Frederick Marsh plays the president. It is when the president supports a nuclear disarmament treaty, but the rest of the cabinet thinks there's going to be a sneak attack, so they attempt to overthrow him. And the whole story of chaos in the upper echelons of our political machine, let's say it's prescient. And I really connected with this movie. It was just terrific from 1964, every bit as relevant and resonant and creepy today. Ava Gardner is in this movie. Yeah, you love Ava Gardner. She's here. It was great.
It is a really great film, and Kirk Douglas for me is it's hard to say. I mean, he and Burt Lancaster were both pretty standout in the film. It just is that whole story. It's a very tense, just a well-made film that's definitely worth checking out.
Absolutely. And I don't think, I just don't hear it talked about. Like, I feel like it should be talked about every bit as much as The Manchurian Candidate is. I don't know how this one seems to have sort of a muted cultural historical memory in film. There's no reason that I only heard that this film even existed a year ago. I feel like this should have been something that I watched in college, when we were studying film.
Yeah.
Somehow I missed it.
Yeah. Or studying wartime. Cold War. It's a good story for that.
Right. Absolutely. So, Steve, you haven't seen this one?
Never even heard of it. If it's a Cold War movie from the 60s, unless it's Dr. Strangelove, haven't watched it, haven't heard of it.
Excellent. Well, that, I needed you to never have heard of it, because I needed you to prove my point. But it's a 7.9 on the IMDb star rating.
Yeah.
So it's
again, add that to your list.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you'll be adding this final pick from me to your list as well.
Probably. Is it from the 60s?
It's not from the 60s. It's actually from 2006, but I don't know. For some reason, I feel like you haven't seen it. It is Florian Henkel von Donnersmarck's German film, The Lives of Others. This film just blew me away, and it just totally was a surprise to me. This is the story about the monitoring of East Berlin residents by the Stasi, the secret police, and the character that we predominantly are following is one of these people who is listening in on people and taking notes and trying to figure out what's going on and stuff. But he kind of is drawn into their lives, and it's just this beautiful story, and it haunting and painful and just everything that you get. But the characters are so good, and this film just totally took me by surprise. And it really became a standout film at the Oscars, because it won the best foreign language film, beating out what some people thought would take it, Pan's Labyrinth. And I think a lot of people who saw Pan's Labyrinth and not this were so mad that Pan's Labyrinth didn't win. But my comment to that is, have you seen this one? Because it's definitely the better film. So that's my final pick, The Lives of Others.
I need to add this to my list too. I regret that I have not seen it. I think this is one you did tell me about, and
this is why I stopped telling you for these things, because you're like, you don't watch it.
Yeah.
No, Andy, you can try that, but it's still going to be your fault.
Probably.
You must not have persisted.
Yeah. I remember hearing about this, and it's again one, but this is one where I'm like, okay, do I want to subject myself to this? Am I going to be depressed at the end of this? Is this how I want to spend time? And I do enjoy movies like this. It's just, this is one of those things back in the day when I would, Netflix disc by mail, where I might get something like this, and then it would sit there on that shelf like, no, I'm going to get around to watching that. And it'll sit there for like 6 weeks until I'm finally like, I got to send this back, because I'm just never going to, when am I going to get around to watching it? I don't know. So this is like, I have to like schedule something like this in and say, I am making a commitment to watch this movie on this day, because otherwise I'll always say like, well, Andy says I should watch In the Name of the Father, so I'll watch that.
So I guess I better go watch something on Amazon. Yeah, right.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, well. What's your final pick, Steve?
Okay. So final pick, we're in a different era now. We're sort of like beyond Cold War, but it's interesting to see sort of a new movies made during that time have a certain perspective, and then when you get beyond it, then reflecting back on that in a different way, not necessarily commenting on it. I always wonder about like, why said it then? And I think for me, it's the spy, the espionage piece to it that can be exciting for some people. And so I'm just going, this is one from a couple of years ago that I just really had a good time with. And I think both you guys have seen Atomic Blonde, but that is what I'm going to put as something that I really enjoyed, the Cold War aspect of it, and just the badassery of Charlize Theron in this movie. Had a great time with it, and that's my top Cold War film.
That's a great choice. And again, it has the whole the double agents and all that sort of stuff. So I thought they did an admirable job of adding all those elements to that film. Good pick.
Such a good pick. Such a good pick. And exceptional soundtrack.
Yes.
Oh,
really standout soundtrack. Okay, my final pick. Again, really struggled with this one. The first film that came to mind when I read that this was the challenge this week is this movie. And then I worked as hard as I could to find movies that I would want to sit down and watch today more than this movie. And I couldn't do it. So I take that as writ that this is the movie that I need to be talking about. And that is Tony Scott's 2001 film, Spy Game, starring Robert Redford and Brad Pitt. I love seeing these guys on screen together. The story of, of Tom Bishop being arrested in China, seems, again, all the more prescient today as trade, concerns escalate. And this is the story of kind of the spy machine that takes us through Vietnam, through Germany, it's just, it is a wide-ranging, fun and entertaining and equally grim kind of story of assets in the field. And I really, really enjoyed this movie. Spy Game, Tony Scott at some of his best.
It's a movie I saw in theaters. I remember really loving. I have been, as you know, kind of doing my Robert Redford marathon, moving through all of his filmography. I'm still in the 70s, finally made it through A Bridge Too Far. But this is one I definitely have on my sights for the horizon because I'm very much looking forward to rewatching this one.
I think I saw it once a long time ago. That's
this
one that I just,
this is a tough one today.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was, like I said, I may have seen it once. I don't remember. I as I was looking through, I'm like, I think I saw that. I know Pete's going to take that one because I think he's mentioned it before, I'll let him have that.
I've definitely mentioned it on the main show. This is a movie that I really enjoy. So what is the score for you, Steve? If you look at Andy's list and my list, you've seen one Falcon and the Snowman, 7 Days in May, Spy Game.
He didn't see Falcon and the Snowman.
No.
I'm just reading the list. So Spy Who Came In from the Cold, Manchurian Candidate, and The Lives of Others.
Nope. 0 for 3. And I think I may have seen Spy Game, so it's like a 0.95.
So out of 6, there's a maybe
I've seen
on
maybe
one.
Yes.
And all of these you have to wait until you see In the Name of the Father to watch.
Or something like that. I'm sure there's other
his
things.
That's like Marvel on Netflix, where all of a sudden it's becoming too much. He's just like, it's too complicated. I'm just going to put on Russian Doll season 2.
Was this? I recall when we did like the movies on a train. I think it was something similar where like I had not seen any of these train movies as well. When we go back to that list, if you recall, do you remember our train list? No. Andy doesn't remember anything. Andy doesn't remember trailers that Pete picks. I don't. The Bachelor. What is it? Did we talk about that? Yeah. Train heist movies. Yes. Yeah. Right. Oh, because the train list. Because I still haven't seen Assassination of Jesse James. The Train. I don't know what that.
Oh,
I think
I just mentioned that.
2 versions of the Great
Train. John Frankenheimer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I apparently I need to catch up on my Frankenheimer. And then Pete had the 2 great train robberies that I hadn't seen. I've seen The Wild Bunch once a long time ago. So see, that's the other. I got to do In the Name of the Father, a bunch of these train movies, and then apparently like a whole Frankenheimer thing.
Oh, absolutely. Frankenheimer's great.
Yes, you do.
Oh, so good. All right. Well, this was a great list, but that also leads us into this week's film. Andy, how excited are you to come up with a list for this movie?
Rocky 5. Father-son stories. I don't know.
Okay.
This is the one I have not seen.
Oh my gosh, this is like
wait a minute.
I just heard this one. I've seen Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw Rocky Balboa. I've seen Creed. I haven't seen Creed 2 yet. This one I just heard was so bad. I was like, I can skip over this. I'm sure. I don't think there's any crucial plot pieces or character development that's going to happen in this movie that. When I went to see Rocky Balboa, I wasn't thinking, oh, geez, I wish I'd seen Rocky 5 because I'm missing out on important information.
I don't have anything to say. Save it for the show. Save it for the show.
Okay. Well, the plot keywords tell me that punching.
Oh dear.
Movies with punching.
Wow.
What about
Boy, are they right on it with that one.
What? Nailed it, IMDb. Hey, so what about movies with actual where the characters are played by actual family members? Family members in movies.
Oh, yes.
So
There you
actual
go.
family members.
So
Yeah.
family members play, like, the relationship they play in the movie is the same as in real
Well,
life.
I don't know.
So, like,
that
father-son.
might be hard, but because in this one we do have a father and son played by father and son.
Yeah.
Father
I'm
and
just
son.
saying, like, just that there are family members in the movie, whether or not they're playing the same relationship. I don't know that we need to go that far.
Oh, okay. They're just family
Yeah.
members cast in the same
in
movie.
principal
Oh,
roles in
okay.
movies.
Yeah.
The same movie. Not like, oh, I'm going to get my son as an extra.
Yeah.
He's-
Right. But
It's
an
going to
actual
be
role.
principal characters.
Principal roles. Oh, okay.
Okay, I like that.
All right.
So we've got
Okay.
father-son
That-
stories. We've got family members playing family members. Is it playing family members or they're just in the movie?
No,
They're just in the movie
They're just
together.
in the movie.
Okay.
Actors
Yeah.
that are family
So
members.
family members acting
For the
together.
principal characters, yeah.
Yes.
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 There we go.
I like that.
Okay.
Let's do that. And so we need one more, and I think we have punching in case we don't come up with something better. We are safety.
What would?
Characters named after guns? I don't know.
Wow.
Well, there is another one in terms of actors that are playing their role. I mean, Tommy Morrison was a heavyweight boxer playing a boxer. We want athlete
Yeah.
actors.
We did that with the wrestlers last week, didn't we?
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Didn't? Yeah, we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else is it? What else
we
is
could
going on
do
in this story?
financial ruin. Characters, movies
There
where
you go.
Financial
Sure.
ruin
with
where the
characters
character
goes.
loses
Yeah.
everything.
We'll put
I love
financial
it.
ruin.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it. That's it.
Okay. So those are our three
That's
choices:
sweet
father-son
spot.
stories, family
Yeah.
members acting together, and financial ruin.
Oh, Steve, I can't believe you didn't say
Okay.
this. Right after punching comes sweat. I totally would have picked sweat.
Wow, IMDb.
Ugh.
They are as on the nose as that movie was. Holy cow.
Andy, you're the Duke. You're the Duke of this show.
I am the Duke. Wow.
Oh wait, see, this would fit in with Andy. We got Southern accent. There we go, y'all.
Y'all.
We appreciate all of you wonderful Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for continuing to support us and keeping food on our tables. We really do appreciate all of you and look forward to talking more movies with you next time. See ya. Bye, Pete. Bye, Steve.
Bye.
Hondo.